personal brand for CPAs is very important because you are more than the tax return. You are more than the audit. You are more than the project that you're working on.
Welcome to Rise and Stride, where we empower you to take your next step in an ever-changing business landscape. Here's your host, Denise LeDuc-Frimming, President and CEO of the California Society of CPAs.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Rise and Stride, where we bring together diverse voices to explore leading topics to help navigate the seemingly ever-changing business landscape. So true today. Today's guest is Dean Quiambao, a licensed CPA and relationship partner with Armanino. After spending 12 years as an auditor in Armanino, Dean transitioned to Chief Relationship Builder. I love that title for the firm. And you're going to hear today why he is that. Today, his official titles include Northern California Market and Technology Industry Leader. So, Dean, thank you for joining us. You're all in for a treat. Dean has so much energy, and he definitely is a relationship builder out there in the profession and in the industry. So welcome, Dean.
Love to be here. I love CPAs. Let's go, baby, especially right here in Cali. Come on.
Absolutely. See, you have all that energy. So with bringing all that energy, I think the first question and probably the best place to start is really to talk about how did you get to where you are, kind of that path. We always love to hear that. And was it a straight shot? I think that's always important to know.
Was it a straight shot? No way, Jose. Not in any chance at all.
It never is, right? Never is.
Never is. I just celebrated my 24th year here at Armanino.
Oh, congratulations. Woo!
I feel so blessed. I'm kind of speechless. I always wanted to be a 20-year person, and now I am. And now I try not to talk about it too much.
That's awesome.
But yeah, way back when I was a staff auditor, and I didn't even know. I was like, do I really want to do this? I think a lot of us think that, Denise, right? When you enter the industry, you're like, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna get my CPA, stay for a couple years, and go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to find this firm that had an indescribable energy in a bottle. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to do accounting, I'm going to do it here. And so, you progress through the ranks and, you learn and you grow and you make friends and, your community on this starts to become CFOs and controllers and CEOs. And you're like, okay, this is kind of cool. Then you progress and you're like, okay, how am I going to make partner? What am I going to do? What's my secret sauce? What's so special about me? And Denise, I tell you, I remember it clear as day. I was in the office one night and I was sitting there and I was like, well, Dean, you say you're good with people. Your clients love you, but it's time. It's time for you to decide, if you think you can go bring clients to this firm, now's the time. You need to go do that. And so I made a list of the clients I was working on, and I made a list of targets or prospects that looked like those clients. And, this is a long time ago. I picked up the phone and I started having conversations, and I started reflecting back on the conversations I have with the CFOs and controllers that were with my clients and seeing if those conversations would resonate with these prospects. I got really good at that. Andy Armanino said, hey, Dean, do you want to do this full time? I said, yes. That was very scary.
It always is, though, because you only grow if you're uncomfortable.
Amen. And you hustle. Let me tell you that you grow, you hustle, you turn the page. Was it always a straight shot? No way. So many ups, so many downs, so many failures, so many doubts, so many nights talking to my wife like, I asked for this. Can you believe I asked for all of this stress? But I tell you what, I'm the luckiest person in the world. I love my firm and I love my job. I'm a lucky guy.
I love hearing that. Maybe you can, because I hear from, several senior staff individuals as they're progressing through the leadership ranks, right? And I hear a lot from them saying, I have imposter syndrome. Am I supposed to be here? What do I need? Can you talk to us a little bit about that and how to, because you can't get over it. It is good to have that uncomfortable feeling, but you need to navigate it. Help us with that.
Right. Well, I talk about this a lot. and I talk about it a lot most, Denise,
Mm-hmm.
actually with my teenage daughter. So she's a teenager, and we talk about fear, and we talk about nerves, and we talk about what do you do? And I tell her, I said, babe, I feel the same way. To this day, I still have fear. I'm nervous right now talking to you, Denise. Come on.
I always am nervous too, talking to all the leaders. So it all goes both ways.
Amen. But you know where confidence comes from? Confidence comes from action. Confidence comes from getting repetition. Confidence knows that, hey, you might not be ready, and that is totally fair. But you are trying. You are putting in some work, and no one's going to knock you for trying, right? And guess what? Every single rep, you're going to get a little bit better. You're going to learn. So I would tell everybody, yes, you might have imposter syndrome. Gosh, am I really qualified for this? Am I ready? I would tell you are ready because you're trying. So just start to put in the action, put in the work. And what I mean by that is, what are you listening to? What are you reading? Who are you talking to? Are you paying attention to the different things that are out there? And are you weaving things together? Because if you could take those stories and those experiences, and most importantly for us CPAs, those transactions, that's exactly what the market wants to know.
Mm-hmm. You said two things I want to punctuate because they're really important is confidence to action. I think that's key. And you said listening to, reading, and weaving things together, the connecting the dots. I can't say enough how important I think that is, because that translates into leadership and being able to make a real difference.
For our value creation as CPAs, everybody thinks like it's tax code or it's GAAP or it's something like that. Yes. But there's this thing called AI that is actually smarter than all of us. So our ability to handhold and lead and be somebody else's person and like say, well, have you considered this? Or would you like insight into that, into how somebody else might be doing it? That's invaluable. That's how we're going to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. And all the listeners, write that down. I wrote it down too. So I want to go dive into a bit about business development because that's key, right? That's key to, I would say, any CPA who wants to grow and to lead. Tell us what you think about business development and how when we hear it, we don't cringe and go, ooh, I can't do that, or I don't want to do that. Enlighten us with all your success that you've had.
Oh my gosh. How about this? I'll enlighten you with all my failure.
Touche.
So much, so much. First rule of business development, and I know that CPAs actually knock this out every single day because it's who you are and it's who we are in our nature. It's doing great work and providing amazing client experience. It's the first rule of business development, right? Can we deliver on all the things that we say we're going to deliver on? Can we be somebody's person? After that, then it becomes, well, do you want to grow? Do you want to grow your business? And how are you going to do that? You know how many CPAs feel absolutely uncomfortable asking a client, well, I'm doing great work for you. Do you have any friends?
Ask.
Ask. You ask a CPA to make that ask, and oh my gosh, it becomes very uncomfortable. But there's very basic things that we can all do. So we can ask our clients, hey, is there anybody that you know in your position? And can we help them?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We can ask them, just, you know what? You seem really happy. It feels like I helped you out in this transaction, or, we've been working together for 5 years. Yes, you have. Great. Can I have a quote from you? Would you help me? Most times, if you just ask for help, people will give it to you. So I say that number one, quality client experience. Number two, let's ask, right? Let's ask. And then number three, let's make ourselves available. Denise, you came when I came on here, you said, Dean, how are you? And I said, oh, I've been busy. And I said, no, hold on. Let's delete that from the record. But how many conversations do we as CPA say, hey, how are you? And we say, oh, we're so busy. Well, you know what that says, Denise? They must not need any more work. They must not want any more work because they're so busy. Denise, I'm open for business. You know what I mean? If you want to grow, if your organization wants to scale, if you're thinking about generational wealth transfer, if you're thinking about selling your business, if you're thinking about implementing AI into your business, if you're thinking about taking advantage of all the newest tax code, we're here to help. That's the way that I want to talk to people. That's the way that us as CPAs should be going out and telling everybody we're here to help and we're excited to do it.
Such a good message, because I think so many times the ask definitely isn't there. I think so many times we undervalue, what we do, because we think, oh, there isn't, value for that. We're charging by the hour. But when you think about during the COVID and the PPP and how every business went to their CPA and saying, help me, I don't know what to do. We really have to remember that. That's a great message, Dean. Great message.
It's a must. It's a must.
Yes. Great message. Okay. Now let's delve into tech, because you're deep in tech. You see it all, and you know how fast the pace of the change is and how we have to really lean in. So just give us a thumbnail of like what you see happening out there and why you think there's hesitation and how we can get over that hesitation for adoption.
Oh my gosh.
You're smiling, so you're like, oh, that's a big question.
That's a big question. Holy cow.
So go wherever you want with it.
I'd like to start with, and let's just say the elephant in the room, is the fact that I think a lot of accountants, especially a lot of professionals, especially of older generations, but especially accountants, I think one of our pillars is professional skepticism, right? That's just who we're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So is there a lot of like, I don't really know if I trust this AI. I don't really know. It's going to hallucinate. I'm proud of my work ethic. Right? Like, I don't need technology. I could just do the manual workaround all day long. I've been doing it for 30 years. I could work hard through this. And that is just changing so fast. I'm here in the Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area. My job is to talk to VCs and CEOs and the founders of these companies that are trying to disrupt what we do, Denise. Mm-hmm. If I could be blunt, I went to a VC demo day recently, and they said, yeah, we're not targeting the SaaS spend. We're targeting labor. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's just real. Just going to say it. So what do we do as accountants? We got to dive in. We got to go figure out who are the platforms that are exciting, that people are getting behind. How do we learn it ourselves? How do we sit on top of it so that what we just talked about a second ago, we can navigate for our clients. We can navigate for our communities. They're asking us, can you do it? This is a real life moment, Denise, and it kind of totally woke me up. I was at a conference and I overheard one of my CFOs talking to a CEO of an AI company in the finance and accounting space. And she said, I'd feel much better about your product if my firm signed off on you. And I was like, oh my. Mm-hmm. So if that doesn't tell every CPA that's listening the power that you have.
Yes.
Right? We could be the Sherpa. We've always been the Sherpa. We need to be the Sherpa now. We need to dive in. But I think a lot of us are skeptical. Oh, Dean, it hallucinates 25% of the time. Oh, it's not this right. It's going to get it right. Don't worry. 6 months from now, it's going to change again. And then another 4 months, and it's going to be even better. Our job is to be right on top of it all.
Mm-hmm. That's something to really think about. And we have this campaign, and I'm just thinking the connection there, CPAs making sense of what comes next. It's really what it is, right? They are able to navigate, a lot of times connect the dots between different elements and also be that trusted, I know we say advisor, but your clients trust you. So like you said, if you sign off, they're going to feel better about it.
Comment on that trusted advisor. There's an author out there, Matt Dixon. He's actually very famous for writing the Challenger sale. His latest book is The Debater. And he says that things have actually changed. The games have changed. 5 years ago, if you ask CFOs, would you buy from your professional service provider that you have a history with? 76% of them said, yeah, I'll just go. That's my trusted advisor. Today, that number is 50%. And they say 5 years from now, it'll be down to 30%. So we actually have to change the way that we work. We actually have to bring new technology. We have to bring new connections. We have to bring new ideas because you know why? We're in a different world now, right? We have social media. We have so many connections. We have different things that we're hearing in different ways. And people actually say, I want to hear from other folks. So it's a great opportunity, but also a lesson that you can't just silo a relationship and say, hey, I'm their trusted advisor. Yeah, the trusted advisor actually brings more, and they call this the activator. They actually bring more into that relationship. They add into it.
That's a gosh, there's so many good points. I'm taking notes too. That's a good point because you can be that connector, convener to bring everyone together. It's a really good point. So kind of on that same train of thought, as you talk to more, you said VC, CEOs that are out in the community, where do you think, besides the activator, CPAs can really lean in or help? And then talk to me also a bit about fees, because we have the hourly, right, rates, the billing rates, but we don't charge enough, I don't think, at times for different pieces we're bringing to the table.
Start on fees. That's the easy one. We'll loop back to the first part of that question, but let's start on fees. Denise, it can be rough on accountants sometimes in our industry because for the most part, accountants usually communicate value in one way, and that's by decreasing fees. Yep, I'll do it cheaper than the person next to me. And to me, that's a miss. Like, let's not do that to each other. Let's communicate value by the outcomes we help you achieve, the results you're trying to get. You tell me where you're going and how much it means to you. Let's go make that happen. Let's make that a reality, right? Let's go find money, opportunities in your tax return. How much would a digital transformation mean to you? What does, if you get this next round of funding, what does that mean? Or even more, Denise, if you fail in this endeavor, what's going to be the impact?
Mm-hmm.
If we align that way, our opportunities, they're boundless. There's no limit to what we can do. I think, unfortunately, right now, because we're kind of at this little intersection right now of, let's just be real here. We got a little offshore, you got a little automation, and people are like, oh, okay, just bring it down, buy it down. Yeah, maybe we're there right now. I think in the future, what we're going to be is, who do you want to team with that's going to make sure that you have the right outcomes? Because the reality is nobody has time for this to not go right. So we want this to go right. And if you talk about what's the real impact here, the dollar amount, that's negligible. Impact my organization, impact the outcome, impact the benefits of where we're going. And now we might be talking about fees.
Mm-hmm. And you got to bring it up a level.
Right. You got to get out. If you're stuck in fees, oh, no, but none of us want to be there. I don't care if you're the big four or if you've got a 3-person CPA firm and you're bringing on clients. Nobody wants to talk on fees. Let's talk outcomes. Let's talk benefits. Let's talk impact.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other thing that we can do too as CPAs is let's talk collaboration, right? I'm a big believer in that. Like, hey, I know a lot of people, right? You know your business. I know 100 that look like yours. How do we make this work somehow?
That's a big piece. I think when I even for us, you can't go alone. You have to go with others. So find those where you can win together. There's blue ocean out there, right? It's co-opetition. So find it where it works. And I think sometimes we miss that.
I think it's almost the CPA nature. I could do this, right? Like, it's like, I could do this. I've done it before. I can make it happen. In my opinion, and I'm stealing this. This is something that I heard in a podcast, right? I actually heard it in the All In podcast. I actually heard it in the BG2 podcast. And what did they say? They said the people winning today are collaborating. Mm-hmm. And that just burns in my mind all the time. And it makes me question, Dean, how are you collaborating? What are you doing? Are you trying to go it alone or are you trying to work with others? The more that I work with others, the more that I actually help others rise. It's amazing. That's how I built my whole career, Denise. Try to help as many people rise. And oh my gosh, can it pinch me? Like, is this real?
No, it's a feel good too. And it does elevate both. So it's a win. Absolutely. So maybe we can talk about now, because you mentioned reps. I love going here. You mentioned reps. And I know you do CrossFit and you're a big believer in, having mental and physical, mindset. It all goes together. So talk to us more about that.
Yeah. I'm in my home office right now, but if I was in my office at Armanino, this sign in my office actually says, do hard things. And then the sign next to it is The Man in the Arena by Teddy Roosevelt.
Mm.
And those just mean a lot to me, right? Like people ask me all the time, like, Dean, man, you must have played a lot of sports. You play a lot of sports. I'm like, no, I'm an accountant. No, I'm not athletic. But I'm a hard worker. So why do I like putting in the reps? Because the things that I couldn't do a year ago, I can do today. But it didn't happen overnight. It happened by just, you know what, today I'm going to try this little progression and then I'm going to build on that. And I'm just going to slowly go through the grind of years of putting in the work. And then I'm going to look up one day and go, oh my gosh, how is this happening?
Right.
And that's where 1% better comes from. That's where do hard things comes from. And that's kind of what I love about CrossFit specifically, is the fact that I do something, I measure it. I could do it again a year later or another time, measure it again. Did I improve? Did I get better? And so and hey, we're all CPAs, be like, numbers, come on.
Yeah.
Like, these are all things that they help me. And then Denise, the other thing is like, I don't know how, I guess I do know how. I talk about it a lot. It's become part of my brand, right? And, we can talk about this. Personal brand for CPAs is very important because you are more than the tax return. You are more than the audit. You are more than the project that you're working on. So for me, it's been part of my brand. People like to talk to me about it. And then it is a mental edge for me, right? I meet strangers for a living, Denise. And that can be challenging, right? Like we talked about earlier, I have fear too. But if I know, like, man, did a workout this morning that could have killed me. Like, I was struggling. Like, how hard can this be?
Well, exactly. Exactly. We have this campaign, but we might put some new life into it. It's CPA and just talking about, CrossFit. We have one board member who does, I'm going to say dirt bike. I don't know, motocross, whatever the term is, there's a term for it, but she does that. We have so many interesting members, and it's their other side, really, that personal brand that helps them have that discipline to get to where they need to go.
And it all ties together, right? Like, people who are successful and do things outside of the office, guess what? They're going to be successful inside of the office. It all kind of comes together. And I love that. Please make that a reality, right? Please change the perception of our profession. Please do.
100%. We're trying to do that and say our summit we had over 400 people and 65 students. So 3 times the number we had last year. And we're changing the narrative around it because we have to. We're not just, when I talked to someone in the elevator, I said, oh, are you a CPA? He puts up his hand like a calculator and he's like punching at it. He's like, no, I'm not a CPA. I said, no, now that wasn't good. You cannot say that. That's what he thought. He's a young person, right? So we have to change that.
Denise, I got to tell you this. You know that Dr. Seuss book that a lot of us get when we graduate from college, or any graduation? They give you that Dr. Seuss book and it says, oh, the places you will go.
Yes.
That's been my career. And it's because I'm a CPA. I've met Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's right-hand man. I've met Sheldon Adelson. I've met board members at Tesla. I've met people who own the Boston Red Sox. And I can go on and on and on about the influential people that we've met or that I've met. And I'm just sitting here going, how is this even possible? How? And it's because I'm a CPA, Denise. Like, let's be like, that is my foundation. So you can go ahead and make fun of us all you want. If we went through my cell phone, you'd be like, whoa.
And they're all saying, Dean, I met Dean. So they're so excited.
Come on.
Yeah, no, it's there are so many places. It's a door opener. So as we get near on, I could talk to you for a long time and you have things to do, places to go. But two other questions. First, what has most surprised you in your career in the last year or two, where you said, oh, I never thought I could go this way, or I never thought I'd see that? You take it where you want to go. Surprised you, good or bad?
I don't, right now, it's where we are today, right? But our business model has changed, right? And what I mean by that is now we have outside investors in public accounting firms. I didn't know that was the thing when, in the early 2000s, when I was just trying to get my license and, you kind of saw the path ahead of you, right? Like when you're a young staff person coming up the ranks and you see like, oh, okay, well, look, that partner's been a partner for 20 years and they retired. And then a younger partner came up the ranks and all of that. Well, the world is changing so fast, right? Innovation is happening so fast. Our influence, as we've been talking about this whole time, our influence as CPAs is high, high, high. And now investors see that and they say, okay, well, we want to back that. I never thought that was like a thing. Never. I always thought it was just the partnership model. You go there, you work there, you put in your time, and then you retire and, whatever. And that's different now. Right. So, and it's also new that we'll see how it continues to play out. I tell you, it is exciting. I think most exciting for the younger generations, right? Because before, the economics of a CPA firm were, like I just talked about, like this long, and this kind of changes it, right? This allows firms to kind of have an economic model, especially for young people, that can kind of mimic some of the startups here in the Valley, right? Where you might have transactions every, 5 years or something like that. So we'll see how that goes, but that's something I definitely didn't see coming, but I tell you, I'm swimming to it, right? Like changes here, you're not going to avoid it. So we're swimming to it and making it happen.
Yeah, I love that. Swim to it. Unless it's a shark, but swim to it. It's definitely what you should do. You have to. So we're getting near on time, but I want to ask you, for our audience, what would be your advice or tip for young professionals? And you had many throughout here, but what would be your lasting advice to them?
I'm gonna go to number one is go all in. And I can't just underscore that enough. I think young professionals today and a lot of young people today, Denise, what they talk about is they talk about their side hustles, right? And like, oh, I'm doing this on the side. I'm trying to get this going on the side or whatever, whether it's, social or a little business or whatever. I'll never forget, because I kind of was that kid too. And Andy Armanino told me way back when, he said, Dean, if you just focused on being a good CPA, you'd be wildly successful. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? Like, I gotta do this. Like, I gotta do this little thing. No, he was right. All in. Go all in. Pay yourself back. Pay your career back. You went to school for this. You studied for this. You got the CPA. All in. Like, give it all you got. Right? Like, so many people ask me, Dean, tell me about work-life balance. I go, yeah, very easy. I'm all in on life and I'm all in on work. Right? Like, this is what I do. I'm very excited about it. I give it all I got. And because of that, it's giving me back more than I've ever could have dreamed of. So that's number one. And then number two, I just say is you young people today have the opportunity, the transformative opportunity of our lives in AI. They're going to be the ones who master this. I can't wait to see what they do. I know I'm surrounding myself with it as much as possible. I'm bringing it into every meeting going, how can we operationalize that? How can we automate that? What can we do? How should we be thinking differently? There's going to be a whole generation of people who that's just what they do. They don't even think about it. It's just native to them. And I think their opportunity is limitless. It's going to be unreal.
I do too. That's a great way to end. It's like a mic drop for sure. Great way. So, Dean, I just want to thank you for taking time to be with us today. Again, you're very busy and a lot of good tidbits. So I hope you all took notes out there and just go all in today, like Dean said, right?
What's the worst that can happen? We're going to go all in. We're going to be bold. And if there's no failing, there's only learning. All good. Let's go.
I love it. Well, thank you. Such an uplifting conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Cal CPA, for the good work you're doing. Appreciate you.
Rise and Stride is produced by the California Society of Certified Public Accountants. To learn more, visit calcpa.org.